people of the internet, today I am back with the MD Hex. Why? Because I want to show you some brief points about it. It does have an old full cast iron engine, but it is 4 valve per cylinder and it does make 170 horsepower. If I go back to the engine, I can show you that. Power curve is reasonable as well, and the economy isn't as dreadful as it could be, although that isn't great, I will admit. However, I had the thought that maybe we could kind of design a car to be a sports car based around this vehicle. So it'll take a lot of the basics. It'll take the engine, maybe even the front wheel drive. It'll definitely be a transverse mounted engine, however I ultimately do it. Oh look, computers in the background there. Wait, is that, I spy 2 Dell Optiplex lookalikes. There's some, I can't remember the exact number, but it's definitely some 2003, 2004-ish Dell Optiplex kind of look they're going for. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. But automation, yeah. It has torsion beam rear suspension and McPherson strut on the front. And all around, I think I built a solid enough car here. It looks modern and it does the job. It's not comfortable, but so it's a sportier car, so it can get away with that. It's fairly light as well, which is surprising, because I think if we look back here, I believe it's steel. Or no, maybe it's aluminium. I don't know. Maybe the car's aluminium. I'm trying to think. No, the chassis is steel and the panel is steel. So indeed, yes. I believe we could make the sports car out of aluminium, and we probably should, to be entirely honest. Here I've had it set to 2013. We want the engine position to be in the middle of a rear. Interesting, there's one that can only be rear engined. I wonder what that one is. No, very odd. One of them is disappearing. I will find out which one it is. Oh yeah. So you can only put a rear engined in what looks like a Diablo. Got there eventually. Although, that seems strange. So I'm going with this one. And that was old by these standards as well. This is a 2010, so it's about the right kind of era. And we have various panel materials. As I say, aluminium. It's a sports car, so we want it to be light now, even if it costs a little more. The saloon, it wasn't as much of an issue. It'll be a unitary construction, same as the saloon. We're basing it off. We're going to use the engine, definitely. Of all the parts, that is one I will not budge on. It's going to be the same engine in the same trim. Chassis can be HS steel. I've never had any trouble with it before. It seems to be a very solid chassis material to build a chassis with. Nothing really goes that wrong. We're longitudinal, but it's a transverse engine and I want to keep it that way. Just to save money really on development, because it's not going to be a huge company. If we look at Chinese MG, they're not exactly as big as Volkswagen Audi Group. I'm thinking if we go with mid-transverse and double wishbone all round, it would be a very good performing car. However, as I thought actually just before recording this video, this is very strange. I was thinking maybe I could reuse the front suspension, the front McPherson strut I believe it was, if I had it front transverse, but apparently not. That is very, very strange. There's just no other options. Okay, we're going mid-transverse. If we're going to put up with extra development costs, might as well have better suspension all the while. Double wishbone all round. We can go with McPherson strut on the rear, but then that's, I don't think it's going to work. I think if we go with double wishbone, we'll be going for balance overall without going for a full supercar-y kind of pushrod setup. And I know it has been on certain road cars. I think a Mazda Saloon had it as well. Maybe a Mondeo. So, you know, it's not the most unrealistic thing in reality. And that is not nice. I would not want to sit in that car. And it has no doors. What's going on with my design studios? We'll stick it in blue for now. Probably do some more drastic measurements of design later. What am I going to do here? I don't really know, but it might look good. This could be a Porsche body, I'm not sure, but it looks like it might have that kind of look to it. If so, I'm probably building a 997, which is the one no one likes. Can I actually bring the corners down? No, I can't seem to do that. And those lights just don't look right at all. So I think I'm going to have to go with some more top-heavy, dare I say it, lights. We have various ones of these. It looks like I may actually just have to stick Porsche lights on because nothing else is going to work. And yeah, we can just outsource our headlights to some specific German, not parts company, car company. There we go. The old mine keeps up eventually, and they do not want to fit though in the location I'm wanting them to fit in. And making them bigger doesn't seem to help. Okay. No. If I make them smaller, do they go into the gap? Indeed they do. Help! I made a mess of a design. Ooh! I spy these ones. These look like the ideal shape to fill this space. And indeed, they ain't doing a half bad job of it to begin with, I'll say that now. Check that, and I think if we go with the similar kind of grille design in how it fits between the lights, but it's quite slim. Now the engine's in the middle, so how I pad out this design is going to be the complicated matter, because I have to pad it out since I'm not going to actually use any of the cooling that it's going to produce. There we go. We can have a badge just above that grille. Kind of make it look like it's something, I don't know. Which badge should we go with? Yeah, let's go with this one. I know, it's kind of a Citroen badge, but I feel it's somehow relevant. Probably because it's a weird sports car. And Citroen has made quite a few odd vehicles. They don't tend to do it anymore, but they made quite a few strange and odd vehicles in their past. And where's the options to reshape the body or anything? I'm inclined to say here, this should be here, yes. Yeah, I can do all odd things with that, but why would I want to? What point does it add to the vehicle? Okay, looks like we're stuck with this. I can make it work, it's just, it would have been nice to have more options. We can have a smiley grille. Come on. Put some chrome on it. This is a premium sports car. It has to grin. Oddly, it doesn't want chrome on it. Yep. I'll have to come back to this design. Wait, actually. The car is mad. The car does not like what it's seen in the news today. And it intends to take it out on the next corner that comes its way. Okay, so I think we can go with some kind of sub-lights, because we've got indicators in there, so we don't need to have separate indicators, but to add, just fill in the space, really. We can add some little lights down here. I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking Alpine. I think it's like some obscure Alpine from, I don't know, 2001, which killed the brand because it was so dreadful. And I think actually, if we go on bonnet modifications, if we have any, I could hopefully add a scoop. There we go. We had a scoop on the other car, so it only feels right to have one of sorts on this. Can be kind of one of the characteristics that defines the company, along with that slim grille between the headlights. Because, you know, you've got to have something that's defining, even if it is a dreadful car company. We still have to have our defining marks. And there we go. It doesn't look too great on here, but it sits okay. And that's good enough for me. It has no doors, though, which is kind of a problem. Ooh, and I've just thought, these weren't quite the ones I was thinking of, but we can go with some kind of odd handles. There's one or two that I just wouldn't tend to use on other cars because they're quite weird, but on here, definitely. It does look premium, though. I'll say that now. So if I'm definitely trying to make the brand go more upmarket, this is not a bad start. Problem is, my original plans involved putting a standard interior in, and it would have to have a standard interior because it would have to share bits with the other saloon car, the MD Hex, as it was called, because it would just be a bit of a parts bin special of a sports car, really. The double wishbone suspension being the one defining feature that possibly distinctifies it. And the engine. Are we... Where am I? Am I on the right mode? Help! What am I doing? There we go. The 11 series engine, because K is the 11th letter in the alphabet, I believe. 170 horsepower. It's quite a heavy old lump, if I find where it says it. 168.4 kilos. Oh. Oh dear. Looks like we're going to be doing something, guys. Because it doesn't fit. Okay, so that was very interesting. The game just got angry and crashed because the engine wouldn't fit. Now, I have just changed it to longitudinal, which I've really had to do, or it was either that or change the body completely, and I definitely didn't want to do that. So, yeah, we're dealing with a longitudinal engine now, mid-longitudinal mine, so it is still a mid-engine car, although I feel I should go rear-engined, I don't know. I don't want it eating into a passenger space too much, so... But rear-engined is going to completely ruin the balance of the car. At least when I've driven rear-engine cars, they've not felt particularly good to me. So that's something to think about. Yeah, it's an inline four. Would it fit there? Probably okay, yeah. To be entirely honest. It wouldn't be the biggest issue in the world. And the vehicle, at least on the exterior, feels near finished. We could put some pop-up headlights on these ones, but yeah, that wouldn't do much to help the look of it. We can go with number plates, sure. We'll add a pair of them, one front and one rear, and some decent exhausts. Yeah, it's a very angry car. First I tell it it's being made irrelevant by automation, and then I attack corners with it. At which point it'll probably chuck you out the wrong way round, as cars would do. Now we can mirror that, and that will give us dual exhausts. Again, if we get some more exhaust, hopefully, and mirror them, that should give us a nice quad exhaust setup. Now we can move those out a bit more. Why not? Come on, move down. There we go. And we need some very, very odd, kind of 2000s Trans Am tail lights, I think. Where are you? Tail lights. Ooh, just reuse those? Probably not. Oh well. I've got no better ideas than this one, which is a pretty terrible idea in itself, but I mean, what can you do? My mind is limited right now. I think we can move them in just a little, maybe. There we go. So, how does that fit? I have built a strange thing here. I can say that for sure. Right, we've got a Citroen logo somewhere. There we go. You can be made bigger. Does it fit okay? Oh no, it kind of droops down if I get at the wrong place. But that looks vaguely okay. The logo basically broke in half when someone tried to put it on. Other than that though, it looks okay. Yeah, I fixed it now. Now it's just bent out of shape badly. Can we put a handle here? We do need some handles on our car. Mirrors as well. I think these ones. We can flip them over, make them bigger. And that should provide us with rear visibility. Or so I hope. If it doesn't provide us with rear visibility, then we're all doomed, because rear visibility is what makes the world go round. And without it, there could be no life. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just trying to get my mind to come up with something while I find the handle. There, distraction accomplished. And we have no wings. Oh well, it's a cheap car. And it's longitudinal as well. We've got the engine. I will let you hear it. Why not? Bit more of a drone than I remember, but hey, it's an engine, what can I say about it? It's still not appeared in our car. Like, why is the firewall, is it so far forwards? Is it just so you can stick ridiculous engines in here? Because that's like halfway through the interior by that stage. Maybe it's just under the seat. But then you'd have to have a flat engine or something, surely, to fit under the seat in what's already a fairly low car. We can go with longitudinal all-wheel drive or rear drive. We'll only need rear drive because we're not building a ridiculously high-performance car. 170 horsepower to all wheels would be more of a strain, I think, with all the weight it would add. Well, maybe not add that much weight, but it'll be a bit more of a strain when you've only got this much power. We've got a range of transmission options. We'll only need a manual 5-speed, so I think. And there it is, there's appeared. Yeah, we'll easily have enough engine space with that, and seat space. It's maybe not ideal. I'd rather have it transversely mounted, and it looks like there might be enough space if you really crushed it together, but, you know, I have to deal with the limitations placed upon me, and that is one of such limitations. We can go with a higher top speed, maybe, which it'll probably never hit. Do we want a differential? Nah, keep it open, save money. Save money where we can. We'll go with slightly grippier tyres, probably better investment than a differential if I'm entirely honest, in terms of how it's going to handle in reviews and everything. 235 front, I'd argue that is too wide. We only need something like 215, 225, and they should easily be enough for this to grip. It doesn't need to be a wide body or anything. We need to offset the wheels a little because they're quite far into a body. Is that the back? Is that maybe offset correctly? No, if I just do 30 and then... What's happened there? Oh, kind of reverse the controls there. Oh, help! I've messed the body up. I've messed the body up bad. Right, so the less we look at this is probably the better for us. I'll just pretend, okay, I'll just pretend I haven't seen that side. Oh, oh dear. Is there any way to reset the body, I wonder? Because I'm going to do something stupid, okay? You're watching, so tell me if tell me if I'm just being stupid. Still not moved my... Oh, well, I would say mistake, but there's nothing I can do about it. Can I don't think I can shift COA, right. It wants to fly away or something ridiculous. Right, there we go. It looks horrible, but you can at least see what part is what. Yeah, it's gone a bit crazy, I think. I'll have to try reopening the car sometime and see if that fixes it. Ooh, 18-inch wheels might look good, but they're just too big. I wonder what wheels we do have, speaking of which. I think we can go on them way back here. No, way back here even. Wheels. Yes, some of these are mods. I think they might be super. No. I don't know what they're from. Could go with those, maybe. But they don't work for me. How about them? No, these, no. I can't find any I really like. I think some modern standard in-game ones even. These ones seem to work, but by the looks of it, they love being large. 18 inches. Oh wow. I don't think this is ever going to look good now. Now with what I've done to it, but I don't want to throw away the body. I've got what I want from it. We can probably bring the rim offset of the front out a little more. Maybe. Yeah, let's do it anyway. Alloy wheels. It looks surprisingly upmarket from a brand if you look from wide angles. If you look from the other angles, it just looks like a mess. Which is what it is. We want some vented discs on the front of one piston. Go with some huge vented discs of 305mm. Hopefully get this thing slowed. And then I'll only need solid discs of about 245 on the way. Which is maybe enough. I don't know, 255. Should be enough to slow this beast down when we take it round the track. We don't want downforce. Fully clad takes a lot of engineering time, so we'll go semi-clad. I believe the same as the saloon had. We don't want any cooling flaps or anything too fancy for me. Standard interior, but because we're going up market, we will have +1 on quality. And we'll go with, for all the electronics, we'll go with +1. Basic, infotainment or standard? What's the weight difference? I think it's worth the weight difference, personally. And we'll go with whatever has reasonable engineering time and cost, I guess. So variable hydraulic should do the trick. We'll go with traction control and ABS, same as the saloon. And standard safety. No need to go crazy on this stuff. We're not building the world's highest end car. Air suspension, no. Standard suspension, but we'll go with updated dampers. Adaptive, no. Adaptive are really expensive. Do we want those? I don't know. Semi-active sway bars could perhaps help. Material costs are a lot, but you know what? I think it's going to be worth it in how round a track it will help stop it tipping, and it's a sports car, so it's not going to be the most mainstream of cars. I think we want sport suspension. We're not building a Luxo barge. Its main priority is speed, and that miles per gallon, just go back for a moment, 45 miles per gallon. I'm guessing this thing is going to be light, isn't it? 1063 kilograms, yes. So to pull actually better miles per gallon from the same engine, it would have to be light, and it delivers, you know. For what I expected of this, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but it's delivered in terms of weight. How will I make it lighter? I would love to hit the sub 1 ton point. Not that that is a desperate need, but I would love to. Glued aluminium, oh, that stuff is too high end for me. I wonder if rear longitudinal is lighter. It is. Ooh. Can we get front longitudinal? I'm being really ridiculous now, because we can go with a different rear suspension that might be lighter, but in itself that is heavier. Alright, I said it would ruin the handling, but because it's so light, yeah, I think for now I'm just going to try and strip off what I can strip off and make it under a ton, because it really isn't doing bad for weight. Just see that engine hanging off there. Is that 35% of the weight at the front? I will also go with a wing or two then. See if I can use that to hopefully get a bit of an advantage in terms of lift. Or lack thereof the lift. Aerial. We don't need one of these, but you know, it's a little extra. Why not? Have one of those. And where are the lips? Do the lips exist? Lip, yay! You can be on the front. Don't hurt my car, please. It doesn't have much left. I think that's it. I think we've at least got it in a position. This needs to be made smaller. I've just realised that kind of mirrors the grill. That was not intentional. I just got lucky there. Not the grill, sorry, the logo of my definitely not Citroen car company. And yeah, it's supposed to be more of an MG whip-off, but I've given it a Citroen style of logo because that's what I do. And on the way, we want a wing of sorts. So, wing. Ooh, it's big and it's plastic, and what more could you want from a wing? Something that actually shows up. Yeah, that's what I could want from a wing. Because that one wasn't showing up at the moment. Ooh, I was worried I deleted the first one for a moment. No, I hadn't. That one actually does show up. Yay! Can we extend outwards? Nah, just leave it there then. Works well enough with what's left of the vehicle. And 10-16 kilos still. I don't think it has any downforce. I'm tempted though to put downforce on it. Although I think that I'll have to wait until we maybe do a special edition of this or something. It will be a video and a half. Anyway, car pretty much finished. What's the miles per gallon, I wonder? It is apparently capable of 46.6 miles per gallon if I just go back to the transmission since it is finished now. Ah. 169.6. Not quite 170, but close enough. Ooh, wow. How are you going so fast? Stop scaring me. You've got 170 horsepower. You should never be this quick. You are supposed to be slower than this. Yeah, 204 on the transmission, sure. How will it do 185? Probably in a very unsafe manner. I'll say that now. Ooh, it might cost me a few miles per gallon. It might not, but I want to save a bit of time here. So I'll tighten the gears, slow down. It looks like 6.1, 6.2-ish it stops kind of flying down. So if I go for 6.4... No, even there, 6.4, it's not like really going down. 6.7, 6.5. I think if I leave it up there at the point it hits 6.4 to 60, that's probably reasonable. As I say, this is not the most powerful car. This is not the quickest car. So I'm just trying to make the best of what I have available to me. I think given that it's a sports car though, we can settle for basic infotainment. That will save our weight. That will chop it to less than a ton quite easily. We'll settle with sports suspension settings. And again, the miles per gallon improved. How the grip will be, I don't know. I'll have to do my own testing of these things. 185.6, 185.9 is the best I'm getting by the looks of it. 6.2, 6.3. Is it the same? I don't know. 6.2, come on. There we go. I'm just amazed. I'm amazed I'm able to get almost 186 horsepower out of this engine of all things. It's not an expensive car. So for it to achieve this level is not bad. And it fits at $10,000 exactly, so we can sell it at $1,100 if we want to. A sports car with reasonable track potential and a rear-engined rear-drive layout at $1,100, that does not sound bad. It's even on sport tyres. The downside is you don't get a limited slip differential of any kind, so it's going to spin the wheels all over the place. Ooh, track. People like it as a track car. That is very interesting. 97% competitiveness even as a premium track car. So I'll have to look into this when I build the special edition. Maybe add a few more premium features. But for now, I'm going to take it around the track, I'm going to test it, and I'll return when I've done all of that. Okay, so the vehicle has finished, and it's at a 229.66 time, which wasn't too bad, as my Windows has popped up. It's a 229.66, and that puts it just above the Core 2 Duo Super Sport van, which was a sport van I built. The board Fox speed, impressively actually. And it's below the Coupe non-turbo, which was basically a whip-up of a Fiat Coupe. If I get these menus away, you can see the bodywork. It is also below Boaty hatchback, and I've named it MDF Flywood, although I named it wood here. So, Wood is what it needs to be entered as, and there we go. Has it only got a no? It's got a handle on both sides. It just looked like it had a handle on one side. There's the rear, kind of 2001 Tokyo Motor Show GTR style. Somehow it fits 4 passengers. If I go ahead somewhere, hopefully I can show you this. There we go. Seats 4. I don't know how it manages that, but hey, it does somehow. And it's a transverse front-wheel drive car in this case. Other than being front-wheel drive, having different rear suspension, well, other than basically being different in every way, it's the same car. Now, 2 seats I can go on, and that can save weight over 1075 kilos. It is not easy, though, to get this car light. Not as much as it was with the other car. 4 seats, though, I'm pretty happy with the weight overall. It's still a good 200 kilograms lighter than the car that it's supposed to be a sportier version of. It is also probably softer. It's on comfort suspension. I've put it on comfort suspension now anyway. And it gets 43.4 miles per gallon. So, that is not bad, actually. Going back, we can see the brakes. I've gone with quite large brakes, 2 piston venter discs on the front and 1 piston venter discs on the rear. Now, it seemed more advantageous than going with independent rear suspension personally as a track time perspective, which is more what this is going to be about than outright comfort, so it makes sense. Also, bits of a suspension may be able to be reused from the MD6, which is pretty good overall, I feel. It's just a shame we can't share the McPherson strut front and save even more money. Actually, if I take the bodywork off, I think you can do that. Take away the body, the bonnet, and the trim, and you can see there is the front. Engine fits in there quite neatly, and doesn't have to send any power to the rear, not yet at least. It's just a simple little car. When I pile power onto this, who knows though? Can I pile power onto it? Who knows? I just don't know what this is going to be capable of. To me, it looks kind of like a Dodge Viper as well. And you can actually see the resemblance here. The headlights are the same as the MD6, as I think is the grille. And lower down, probably not. Lower down it shares more in common with the Dodge Viper, definitely, which is probably where it gets a lot of a look from, along with the kind of headlight shape, actually. It is Dodge Viper-esque, even if not by the biggest amount. I also have a vent on the bonnet, which is becoming a characteristic of my cars from the MD lineup. Not a very big one, but it works. It's different to the other car because it has to actually be functional. At least in my head, to make it more sporty. And there's too many vents on the rear. I've over-designed it, but you know, I had to fill in the space my mind feels. I did raise the rear hatch just a little to hopefully make it more accommodating if you do have 4 passengers in here. I don't know why you would though, because those rear seats cannot be comfortable. If you even call them rear seats, there can't be much. Now, if I do take all the bodywork away, actually, I've just thought of another advantage. It wasn't the one I initially chose for the suspension I went with, of torsion beam. You'll see, being front engine, front wheel drive, I have a lot of options. But look, trailing arm, double wishbone, they all have a bit of a hump there. Torsion beam doesn't, so it's very good for overall passenger legroom, let's say, or seat room, or whatever kind of room it may be. So that's a positive I can take away from the suspension type. I've gone with a glued aluminium chassis. That was the one really expensive part I went with because it needed it to get as light as it is. I had it on AHS steel for a while, but it was about 50 kilograms heavier than I would have realistically liked it to be. And I just had to do something about that. It was affecting the times negatively as well, and the miles per gallon, so that has improved it all around. It's a full aluminium car now. I mean, since Audi was using that kind of chassis since the early 90s, I think, it can't be that unrealistic on a 2013 car. We've got various bits and bobs. It's also a 6-speed manual transmission because that's the same as on the other car. Just the idea to reuse as much of the old transverse layout as could realistically be reused was the idea I was going with. We've got a lot of the same, really. It was initially just the same take on the car. It is on long life tyres now since it is more of the economy version. I'll see if I can eke out any more miles per gallon, and no, naturally. This thing can be quite touchy when you try and tweak it and it just goes wild. 43.4 though is not bad, and it's a good increase on the saloon. I feel like here it is, even if you only need 2 passengers, it's actually a definite improvement on the saloon. So, you know, take of that what you will. And the weight balance is very front heavy, but it doesn't matter because it's front wheel drive, so you know, it's going to just translate into very, very good traction at the end of it all. For markets, I managed to get it to $1,300, which I'm not too displeased with. And it was doing very well for track premium. Yeah, 95.4%. That is very liked there. How about Funia? What do they think of it? They think it's a pony car, okay. Well, more than anything else. And yeah, track premium it comes across as generally, which is interesting. So when I get the actual track version with downforce and everything, maybe this will be an excellent, excellent track car. This is a standard version though, and I have banned myself basically from modifying the engine, so I'm stuck with 170 horsepower that this will give. I've had to just make the best of it. And it's a cast iron engine. It's not exactly light, but it will probably remain a cast iron engine. The only thing I might change is things like the radiator and then forged pistons or something in order to get extra performance out of it. But anyway, this is the final vehicle. So what do we have here? It does 0 to 60 in 6.78 seconds as well. I believe that's about a second quicker than the other vehicle while being more economical. Definitely not a bad thing at all. It does 162 actually, very fast. Very fast for a car of only 170 horsepower. But would I trust at those speeds? Probably not. We have various test track attributes. Makes a bit of lift. Not a ridiculous amount though. And it is a 2-door, 4-seat car. I decided 5 seats, you wouldn't really want to force 5 people into that. It wouldn't seat 4 very well, let alone 5. But there's the car. And I'm going to leave it here for today because I don't really have anything else to say. I can take the bonnet off just to show a peek at the engine, hopefully. No, apparently it doesn't have a bonnet. But okay, I'll have to do something about this. I've just realised an incredibly stupid thing. I can't call it finished until... also chrome mirrors. But I can't call it finished until I've hopefully done the window trim. Yes, it needs chrome window trim to represent it's a premium car, even though it isn't. It needs to vaguely look premium. But there we go, now it's finished, and I can say goodbye until another day.